Alright, John Oaks here with HANKSTERS Hot Rods, coming to you from our Homer City, Pennsylvania showroom. And today we've got another addition to our inventory, and this being a 1968 Chevrolet Camaro Ss. So we have here burgundy exterior, very nice paint here on this car, nice, smooth, and shiny the whole way around on this car. Everything SS, we pretty much have it here on this car. We've got the SS grill emblem, the SS gas cap, this steel SS hood on this car as well. So we'll go ahead, we're going to walk around this car, obviously point out to you exactly what we see on the outside. So the first thing I always do is look down the side of the car. Again, I want to see how straight the panels are down the side, how our elevations are from fender to door to quarter panel. So I can tell you on this car, we are in line the whole way back the side of the car. I don't see any waviness. It's nice and straight the whole way back the driver's side here. We've got our side marker lights here, the bezels and the lenses. Both on these are in great shape. There's no pitting on the bezels. There's no cracks or chips in the lens covers. You also see that we've got the bright wheel lip moldings here, and we also have the bright drip rail moldings, as well as the trim along the top of the door, the top edge there, and back along where your quarter window is. Also on this car, we do have a nice set of aftermarket wheels here. These are Riddler wheels. They're polished aluminum, 17-inch on the front, 18-inch on the back. And then we have tires here. They're matching tread. They're Salon Attrezzo tires. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of those before. That is the name brand though. And the sizes on these are 215/50 R17s on the front, 255/45 ZR18s on the rear, just to give it a little bit of rake front and back there. So again, panels are nice and straight. As we come back here, our doors here, we'll check our gaps on the front as well as back here to the rear of the door. And you can see that our gaps are very uniform, pretty much the same front to back. Again, our elevations, when looking back through here, everything was all lined up very, very nicely. Now we do have the nice chrome finish here on the door handles. Again, there's no pitting. And the same thing here on our mirror. We only have the driver's side mirror on this car, but again, the finish is very, very nice on this car. Those drip rail moldings, polished up nice, they're good and straight. There's no dents or things in those. I also look along the rain gutter of the car here too to check the paint and finish there. So again, there's no cracking or chipping out of any of the paint there. So again, that's all in nice shape. Our trim around our window, again, very nice condition. Our windshield itself, I do not see any chips or cracks or scratches in it. And of course, you've got the tint here up along the top side of that front windshield glass. As we come back here, you can see that bright trim here along the top of the door and back here at the quarter panel. No dents in that either. Again, perfectly straight. Let's open our door up and we'll take a quick peek inside now. First, we have the all black interior. Now this is just your standard interior. Front bucket seats, factory center console, factory dash in the car as well. As far as our doors go, you can see that burgundy paint continues its way to the inside here of the car. We have the rubber bump stops. You've got the GM tag here on the door also. And then your weather stripping and your seals the whole way around the door and up top where the window seals up against. Everything is in great condition. There's no chunks taken out of it. There's no rips or tears. And it's all nice and soft, so it's going to seal up very, very well. We'll close our door. Again, you can see that that shuts nice and easy. Continue our way back to the rear quarter panel. Again, we've already mentioned our tires, the bright wheel lip moldings. Now this car is 4-wheel disc brakes. So disc front, disc rear, windshield back here is in good shape too. Again, the trim around it in good shape. And when we come clear to the back of the car, you'll notice that our car has the rear trunk spoiler on it, painted the same color as the car. Our side marker lights again in great shape, and our chrome rear bumper. Okay, now that we're here at the back of the car, we'll check out the normal things back here, starting with our rear glass here. So So the glass looks to be in good shape. It's a slightly tinted glass there. All of the bright work, the trim that goes around that window, it's in good shape too. Our panels here, done exactly the way they should be. You can see where the panels come together. They didn't fill them in as some people do. They left it the way that it's supposed to be. And even the paint that's in those where they come together at, there's no cracking of the paint in those areas. Now our trunk lid, the whole way around, our gaps and our elevations are very good on this trunk lid here. So again, that's all fitted up nicely. Paint again is in nice condition. Our rear trunk spoiler here, again painted that same burgundy as the rest of the car. Now down here in our tail panel, we've got our bezels here, the bright work. That's all in great shape. Where these should be black, they are black. There's none of that worn off. And then of course your lenses, those are in great shape on both sides. No cracks or chips in any of those. Of course you've got the SS gas cap here. Then down below your nicely polished up chrome rear bumper there. That does match to the front chrome bumper there as well. And down below just your rear lower valance, just a standard rear valance here for your SS car. And then of course you won't see the tailpipes on this car from the backside per se, because they exit the way they should between that leaf spring and the rear quarter panel. But we'll show you that whenever we get this car up on the lift there. What we are going to do is open our trunk up. That way we can show you inside here. Now again, you can see that that same exterior color, the burgundy, continues its way on the underside of the trunk lid here. All polished up, so it's shined up nice there. Trunk hinges are good shape. You've got your decal right here for your jack instructions. Inside, your trunk floor, good, solid, one-piece floor, painted the correct black and aqua trunk spatter paint, and your drain plugs are all intact back here as well. The other thing to mention is our weather stripping here, your trunk seals. Again, this looks to be all new stuff, very soft the whole way around, meets together here in the center. So again, sealing up from the elements, this car should be nice and dry inside. So we're going to go ahead and close our trunk lid now. Alright, so now that we're on the passenger side, there's not a whole lot of different stuff to go over here, because again, we just were over it on the driver's side. But again, I do want to look up the side of the car here and let you guys know if it's good and straight and if elevations are good on the car. And that they are, again, on the passenger side just as well as the driver's side. Everything's nice and straight as far as paint and body goes. Elevations as far as quarter to door and door to fender, those are all right in line with one another as well. Again, all of our side marker lights, the bezels and the lens covers are all in great shape. We've already talked about the wheel lip moldings, the drip rail moldings. Again, on this side, we'll look up the rain gutter here, take a look at the paint in through there, and again, everything looks pretty good on this car as well on this side. Again, you have that bright work here along the top of your door and where your quarter window is back here on the quarter panel. All of that you can see is super straight the whole way down there. A lot of times you'll get a little dent or a nick or something in it. Not on this car. This car's in great condition here as far as all the bright work. Of course, your handles, no pitting in those. This side does not have the mirror on it, but we're going to check our gaps anyways. So you got your back gap, you got your front gap there too. Again, very uniform front to back on this car, so that's been adjusted front to back, in and out very nicely. We'll go ahead and open this door up as well. Take a look here. Again, burgundy paint to the inside of the car as well. Bump stops, you got your GM decal here, the rubber seals and weather stripping around your door and up around where your windows come up against to seal up. Everything's in great shape. Even your door threshold plates look to be very, very nice. I don't see any marks on those at all. So again, all the trim and bright work nice on this car. Now again, we'll always go inside here in just a little bit and take a look at that interior a little closer. But right now, we're just going to continue coming up the side of the car here. We're up here at the front fender where you have your antenna on top. It's a manual antenna. So you're just going to pull that up if you need to and need a little better reception. Put it down if you don't need it. That way you don't see that big antenna sticking up. So as we come forward on the car, again, not a whole lot to go over other than our bezels and our lenses on our side marker lights are in great condition. Wheels on both sides, all four of them, those are in great shape. Nicely polished up. Again, polished aluminum Riddler wheels, 17s up front, 18s on the rear. All right, and now that we're up front here on our 68 Camaro SS, we'll take a look at our hood fitment first. You can see our gaps the whole way back the side, along the back edge there, along the other side, and along the front. All very uniform the whole way around. So they've got this hood sitting just about perfect in this car. As you can see, these are the SS louvers, what they used to call the ice cube trays here. Those are in great shape. There's no pitting whatsoever in the finish of those. As you come down here to the front end, the grill area, you can see this is just your typical SS grill. You got the SS badge in here also, which is in good condition. Your parking lights or turn signals, those are in great shape. The bezels around those and the lens covers, those are all flawless there. As far as the headlights go, those are your typical sealed beam unit. So your high and low beam all in one unit there. Glass lenses, and again, no cracks or chips in any of those. And of course the bezels around those painted black as they should be, and again all in with all the correct screws on both of those, so those are in great shape. Good, nice polished up front bumper there, and then just below that we've got the front air dam here in black. Again, that's a plastic piece, but it's all intact. I had all of the braces on it from underneath, and again, there's no cracks in that whatsoever. The grill the same way. This grill, there's no cracks or pieces missing out of it. It's all in great condition. All of your little bit of bright work that goes around that, again, nice and straight, nicely polished up, looks really good here. What we'll do next now is we're going to go ahead and open our hood. So let's go ahead and pop this up and take a look at what we have underneath here. So the underside of our hood, they've got it painted black just to kind of keep that whole, the engine compartment all blacked out underneath here. So your inner fenders, your cowl, the underside of your hood, all black. Now as far as the engine goes here, we've got a 454 cubic inch big block Chevy motor. Now of course this is the non-original motor, but again a nice big block power plant for those out there that like the torque of a big block. Now our particular motor, they've got it dressed out in some black attire here. You've got the black air cleaner with the reusable Spectre air filter element here. You've got the black fabricated aluminum valve covers here. They've got tall valve covers on them there, so you can just imagine they've probably got, you know, some nice rockers and so forth underneath those. Now our car here, we've got power brakes. Again, this is disc brake front and rear, so you've got a black booster back there. We've got power steering in this car as well. Now as far as what we have underneath the air cleaner here, we've got it's a Holley dual feed 4-barrel carburetor with the AED fuel systems metering blocks on it. I could not find a number on that carburetor though to signify what the CFM is on it, so that I'm not sure of. We've got an aluminum intake on there. We've got the ceramic coated long tube headers on here also to help that car breathe a little bit better. Aluminum water pump, aluminum pulleys, and an aluminum radiator here, complete with an electric cooling fan on there as well. Now they have upgraded the ignition. We've gone to an HEI style ignition and distributor here, and we also have a set of MSD 8.5 millimeter superconductor plug wires. That's going to get you a little better spark going to that motor too. And then we also have a nicely polished up fuel pump in there. As far as suspension on this car, just from me looking in from the top, I can tell you it's got all tubular front suspension, so tubular upper A-arms, tubular lower control arms, and we'll see some of that also from the underside of the car when we go underneath it there. Other than that, that's really about it as far as the engine goes. Alright, now we're sitting inside of our 1968 Chevrolet Camaro SS, so we're going to take a look at our interior as we always do. Starting out at the door panels, and this is just your standard interior. all black vinyl, so you see your standard door panels there. You can look and see how nice those are. All the bright work and trim that's on them, that's in great condition. You can look at the armrest pad even too and tell there's no cracks or any wear and tear on that. Everything's attached as it should be. All the screws along the bottom side of the door panel to anchor it down, so that all looks good. A little further inside our dash here, this is your factory dash, padded dash, and there are no cracks whatsoever in your top dash pad here. Down below, as far as your gauge panel goes, these are your factory gauges. You've got a 120 mile an hour speedometer over there, and then to the right of your steering column you've got the factory fuel gauge. Now this is your factory SS steering wheel here, complete with the SS horn button, and then a little further inside your factory heater controls. And then this car was a radio delete, so you do not have a radio in here. You do not have the hole in here for your radio either. It's a panel that closes that all up so that you don't have that empty space in there. Just here in the center now, we've got our factory automatic center console with the horseshoe style shifter here. And again, this was a turbo 400 automatic transmission in this car. As far as the carpeting goes, carpet looks to be in great condition. I don't see any fading or rips or tears in the carpeting. As far as the seats go in the car, again, standard upholstery, and this looks like it was probably the original seat covers in here. You've just got normal wear and tear on the driver's side seat, but everything else looks to be in great condition. I don't see any cracks or tears in any of the other seats. As far as seat belts go, we do have front seat belts here. We've also got rear seat belts back there too. Headliner, the headliner's in good shape too. There's no rips or tears in that. I don't even see any fraying of any of the seams. Sun visors, same thing. The material, the upholstery on those is in great shape. No rips or tears or fraying of any seams. If you put them back up, they're going to stay up. They're not going to fall down. Again, that headliner's pulled nice and tight. It's got all the bows in it necessary. And then your sail panels also, that's an area sometimes where you can get a little bit of waviness, or some of the material sometimes can come loose, but these are in great shape. They're tucked in nice and tight. The material's tight on them. They look good. And that's, trying to think of anything else to go over. Package tray looks great. All of the trim around all the windows in here, your A-pillar trim, your sail panels, like I said, all of that stuff is in good shape on this car. So that's pretty much it. Other than, I did fail to mention, we do have a couple aftermarket gauges in the car. Again, these cars came with just your basic speedo and fuel gauge. So down below, so you could monitor things a little closer, you have a very nice set of auto gauge, oil pressure gauge, water temperature gauge, and a voltmeter down there too. So again, just gives you the ability to monitor those things a little closer. And again, you do have that big block out there, so yeah, you can, keep your eye on that stuff a little closer. So with that said, we're all done with the interior. All right, now that we have our 1968 Chevy Camaro here up on the lift, of course, we're going to go through the underside of this car. We'll point out to you everything we see as far as suspension, steering, and braking components, as well as floor and running gear as far as wheels, tires, and driveline, of course. So, starting up here at the front, all the way to the front, we'll just let you know that we do have that front air dam on the front of the car here. And again, that's all nice and solid, all mounted up with all the correct braces, and there's no cracks in that front air dam. As we move back here a little further, suspension. Now this car has all tubular upper and lower control arms on it, so that makes it real nice, real rigid too across the front end. The tubular stuff is always a little stronger than what your stamped steel components would be, and more performance oriented. So again, tubular upper and lowers. We've got KYB Excel G shocks on this car, all the way around on it. Springs look to be in great shape too up front. And then of course, all of our steering components. Now this is all stock stuff here. So your center link, your tie rods here, of course your tie rods have the rubber dust boots on all of the ball joints here. as well as your tubular control arms too on your ball joints. The rubber dust boots are all intact there, and your ball joints all look to be pretty new on the control arms. Of course, your tie rods, they look great. The Zerk fittings look to be in good shape too, and everything looks to be greased up really well and maintained well on the front end of the car. So that's your steering and your suspension. As far as braking components here up front, we do have disc brakes on the front as well as on the rear. So this car is a four-wheel disc brake car. Now as far as those calipers go, looks like those are just regular GM calipers. So again, you're going to be able to pick up pads and replacement parts for these at any auto parts store that you would be traveling to get those from. And then as far as your cross member up front, you can see this is nice and straight up here. Doesn't look like it's been banged or hit on anything either. Now, while I'm up front here, I'm just going to look directly up above me, and I'm going to let you guys know that we do have a big block Chevy motor in this. Now, of course, it's a non-original motor, but it is a big block 454 here, and that is coupled up to a turbo 400 automatic transmission. Again, the turbo 400, just a little more stout of a transmission. Whenever you have a big block in it here, it's going to handle that, that torque that big block has. Then of course we've got your transmission mount, your transmission cross member right here. The tail shaft mount, that's in excellent shape. The hardware, the bolts, everything all in really nice condition on this car. It also has the flywheel cover here that covers up obviously the flywheel and the torque converter. That's going to keep any dirt and debris away from that flywheel to prevent any chipping or cracking of it. Just keep it in as good a condition as possible. Now, as far as the exhaust, obviously you see that here. We've got the ceramic coated long tube headers here into the dual exhaust. You can see how nice these pipes are. The bends are super nice in them. As they come back here, they're tucked up nice and tight here to the floor, so that you have lots of ground clearance. You also have the dual mufflers. Now, again on these, I'm not seeing a name on them. They may be up around the tops, but looks-wise, they look like a Flowmaster muffler. But again, I'm not saying for sure if they are or not. They just have that appearance to them. As far as your drive shaft goes, I'm just going to feel around here. And yes, that drive shaft is a balanced drive shaft. It is weighted, so that's going to help take a lot of vibration out of your drive line here. Then of course we come back here to the rear end unit. This is a GM 12 bolt unit, so again a good strong unit, again when coupled up to that big block motor and that turbo 400. Now as far as rear suspension, you can see we've got the multi-leaf rear suspension. Again, those KYB Excel G shocks, all four corners. As I already mentioned, we've got the disc brakes here on the back. And then all the way back here, we have a fuel tank. This is just your stock tank. It looks to be fairly new. There's not a mark on it. Your straps are in good shape. The rubber insulators around those are in great shape too. Your fuel line that's hooked up here and run all the way up along the side here, that's in great condition. Your pinch welds along your rocker panels and your floors, those are in great condition on both sides. The subframe here, again, nice and straight, good and square on both sides. Your body mount bushings here, those are in great shape. The hardware, same thing. And those rubber bushings, they're not split or cracked out. They're in good shape. Your brake lines, same thing. Nice bends. Looks to be probably stainless brake lines on this car. And of course, they got this spiral wrapping on them to help prevent any kinking whenever you have a tighter bend in it here. As far as the floors go, obviously you can probably see from the camera how nice these floors are. I don't see any patching whatsoever. There are no holes in this either. This thing looks great underneath. Of course, you can see all of your lines here from your factory stampings. So again, all of that is in great condition here also. Even the floor on the trunk from underneath, you can tell that is in great condition. Nice one piece, solid. There's not a mark on the floors on this car whatsoever. So that's pretty much everything there. The only thing I think I missed was that it has the tailpipes correct style tailpipe that goes up over top the rear end. They exit between the leaf spring and the quarter panel.